We're getting ready for a parade in Seattle like this city has never seen, and that's exactly what we all got to witness.
It took me back to 1979 when I was a kid, and seeing that parade for the Sonics and seeing people literally hanging from the street posts and the lamp posts downtown on 4th Avenue. I mean, it brought me back to that day. And I remember thinking at the time when the Sonics won, well, this is how it is. You know, this is what you do. At the end of the year, you celebrate a championship. But really think about it, it had been that long since we had done that. You can't take it for granted. I thought it was, you know, obviously a highlight for all of us here in this city that we'll always remember. It was a great, great day.
I'm a child of divorce, and one of the ways that my dad and I would spend time together was through sports. We had season tickets to everything, the Seahawks and the Mariners and the Sonics and the Huskies. And
3, 2, 1, and the Supersonics win their first ever NBA championship.
One of my fondest and maybe my most formative childhood memory was 1979 and the Sonics championship parade and celebration. I was at Boeing Field with 100,000 other fans when the plane came back from Washington and took the day off from school to go to the parade. And it took me 34 years to get that feeling back. And it was unbelievable. But the best part was that this time my kids got to know what that felt like too.
I remember being so exhausted, but just riding on adrenaline and this high from the win, I don't think left me for a good solid month and a half after the Super Bowl. I remember the players all came out and they all got on the floats and, you know, waving to them and saying hi, and I was just so happy for them.
It was a freezing cold day and everybody's told to dress warmly. But my first memory is it wasn't that cold because it was body to body. Like, I have never seen a sea of people near CenturyLink Field like that. And it's all because of a love for this team and what they were able to accomplish and how they turned us all into believers.
I never dreamed that 700,000 people would fill the streets. It's just amazing. You're hugging people, high-fiving people you don't even know. People coming up and just, you know, shaking your hand because you're fans and you wanted to be part of something like this.
I have not seen a shot like this anywhere. Look at downtown Seattle right now.
It's a sea of 12.
As far as you could see, Seahawk blue and green, and people just screaming, Seahawks, Seahawks. And I was at the end of the parade route. So these people were waiting for like 3 hours, and you'd think they'd be getting bored and peeling off. No, everybody was there to welcome the champs.
The one thing that comes to my mind is the sheer magnitude of it. You don't realize what 700,000 people look like flooding the streets of Seattle until you actually see it.
I was on set anchoring 12 straight hours of parade coverage that day. It was the highlight of my career, probably one of the best days of my life.
Fittingly, we have Joe Tafoya on set with us who helped us all set the world record for loudest crowd in the NFL.
Yeah, I had no idea that our voices were being projected into CenturyLink Stadium.
We want to hear how loud you are because we know you're loud. We also want to get a wave going. So let's get a wave going in the stadium.
And I was thinking, we do? And I looked at Marnie and she's smiling at me. And I said, okay, I guess we're gonna do the wave.
Section 214, we are starting with you.
Okay,
Go
you guys.
to your right.
Yeah, to your right.
To your right, 214.
All right, good call.
Should
All right,
start
we're
at
gonna try
212.
this. See, I was never a good cheerleader, but we're gonna try this again. Ready? 1, 2, 3! That is what I'm talking about, 12th man!
Woo, woo, 12s!
Tafoya and I are slapping high fives in the studio. We couldn't believe it. Yeah, that happened.
That was one of the cooler moments of my entire experience on the road to the Super Bowl, was watching the fans listen to your voice. And there was 20,000 people in the stadium doing the wave.
Marshawn Lynch is leading this parade, throwing out Skittles and probably receiving as many as he's throwing out.
It was just such a great moment to see him having so much fun with the fans. He took a drum from a fan and was banging it. As he was walking past me, I yelled at him.
How much did you love that?
Actions sometimes speak louder than words, and for him, it's all about that action, boss.
The fans. Look, the players had celebrated that night in New Jersey. They had celebrated on the plane on the way home amongst themselves, I'm sure privately. But I think the fact that they got to share it with thousands of their own fans, I think that's what stood out, and that's what it means. The fact that, you know, schools were reporting up to 60% absences that day, the same with most businesses. That's what it was all about.
It was so funny to see them at the beginning, getting on, so excited, so full of life, and then coming off at the end, just almost exhausted because they gave it all to the fans. Every smile, every wave, every exciting moment, they gave back to Seattle because they felt like this was also so much for Seattle and not just them.
It was awesome. It was like third down the whole way. That was awesome. The 12th man, that's unbelievable. We really appreciate it.
Just seeing all those people come out there, the support, and the amount of people that it was out there, being that it was so cold. You know, it was freezing out. I couldn't feel my hands and toes. And they was out there longer than me, so I know they were frozen out there. But, you know, once we came past, you know, they made tons of noise. Every block was filled up. I heard the public transportation was reckless, was crazy. So people just came from all over Washington, and that was like my biggest moment.
It's just not 1 year. We're just getting warmed up, if you know what I'm talking about.
When Breno brought around the trophy at the end of the rally, oh my gosh. He went, he grabbed the trophy, he reached up and like, Big Low, you deserve this. And I grabbed that thing and I just gave it a big old kiss. And whew, that was probably a moment that I'll never ever forget in my lifetime.